another video. So first and foremost, I do not have my front-facing video set up at all, which is why I'm in slightly a different place and in a weird location, because I'm actually sitting on the floor by my bookshelf, which is only kind of organized the way I want it. That's why there are 2 copies of Oathbringer, just like that's all you can see of my bookshelf. It's also in like a weird corner. So that's what's going on with my background. That's why it's different from usual. But the reason I am here today is to show you the June 2020 Fairy Loot box. I'm very excited. This one actually got here more or less when it's supposed to, so the shipping is coming back into like the regular schedule. And I'm extra excited because I got my shipping notification and then like 2 days later I got my box, which is mind-blowing. I think I've said maybe too many times on my channel that I am so excited to have moved to a bigger city than where I'm coming from, because even though where I'm coming from was closer physically to the Fairy Loot distribution center, it took like a week for my boxes to get to me. And I was never 100% certain that they would. I was always worried that something would get lost, but that was not the case this month. I'm in a bigger city. There was probably like a straight distribution center to my city route that was taken, and it was so good. It was so exciting. That also meant that when I got my box, I was not ready to film. So I opened it early, and that does 2 things. One, there are a couple of caveats that I can mention about the box because I am prepared for them. But 2, it also means that I'm not surprised. So you're not going to get my first take reactions, but I mean, they're not that different from my current reactions. So I think it evens itself out. All right, so the June Fairy Loot box was called A Different Kind of Magic. And another thing I love about having opened it before is that while I'm digging through things to show you, I don't have that black confetti everywhere because I took that out days ago. All right, so this is the spoiler card, and it's called A Different Kind of Magic. And we're coming up on my like anniversary with Fairy Loot, because the first box I ever got from them was the August 2019 box. So a couple more boxes and I've been with Fairy Loot a whole year, which is wild because I don't think I've subscribed to anything that long ever. I usually do things for a few months and then stop and do something else, but I do really like the Fairy Loot subscription. So the first thing that I saw when I first opened this box was this little box, and this is Alice in Wonderland themed, and I really like this because I don't use them very often, but when I do, this one's really nice. So it's a little teapot. It's a teapot tea steeper, and it has this little like charmy thing that says "drink me" on it. And then also in the package, but like still wrapped so I don't want to take it out, is a like rest, a little plate to put your tea steeper on once you're done with it, so that it doesn't, you don't like spill tea everywhere. And I really like these. I don't use loose leaf tea too often, but in like the October Fairy Loot box, I think we did get a pack of loose leaf tea and I still haven't used it. So now I have the tea thingy for it. And last month I got that little tea box that I wasn't sure what to do with. While I was packing and unpacking, I found the Fairy Loot tea I haven't used. So now I have this whole tea set that I'm probably going to put together and actually use that tea with this tea steeper in the storage container that Fairy Loot gave me, because I think that that will store the tea well. So that all worked out. Next is this little patch thing. It is an iron-on patch from The Starless Sea, which is not a book I have read, but I think this is on the cover. And I don't currently have anywhere I'm putting patches. I might save patches to put on a pin banner, like pins, but just ironing them on there. This is how the pin banner that I got a couple of boxes ago is shaping up. I moved some pins onto it that I've had in random places for a while, and I'm kind of just starting from the outsides and working my way in, and I like it. I have it hanging up in a closet, or like on the door of a closet. This next item is inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I love it so much. So, it's a coaster set, and it has the 4 like element symbols on there. I don't know which way this one goes. And I really like it. That being said, I have too many coasters. And by too many, I mean I have the set that I got in the October Fairy Loot box, the Vampire or Bats one. And that's a lot. Like, I use 1 coaster at a time for the 1 cup I have at a time, and then I think I gave 1 of the coasters to my boyfriend, and we don't host people. We didn't host people before there was a pandemic, and now we're definitely not hosting people, so like I don't need a lot of coasters, but I do enjoy these, and so I'll probably switch between the 2 sets depending on like the season and my mood. I just gotta find a good place to store them. That's a work in progress. And then someday, maybe, if things ever settle down, we might host people and the coasters might come in handy. But for now, I just have way too many coasters. Alright, next is this, which I forgot what it is. Oh, hey! It's a pin from a pin banner, and it says, "Love is an excellent motivator to kill." And it's inspired by The Shadows Between Us, which, as I've already reviewed, is not my favorite book, but it was an entertaining read, and this is a cute pin. So I will be adding it to my pin banner. Leave it out so that I can remember. Next, we have these socks inspired by the Bone season. I believe this symbol is on the books, or maybe just the first book. I'm not 100% certain. By Samantha Shannon, I believe. And the Bone season is not a book series I have read, though I do own it on ebook because there was a Kindle deal and I bought it. So someday I will read these books. And now I have an extra pair of socks, which I don't know. I have like a whole like little milk crate full of socks because I got tired of putting them in an actual drawer, and somehow it still feels like I don't have enough socks. I think that's because most of mine are like super old and they're starting to get holes, and I need to go through and like get rid of the ones that are too old and like fill it with my nice socks. But I'll do that someday. Until then, it's just this pile of socks. So now I have more socks to add to that pile. Then this box was extra special because there were 2 books in it, and that was super exciting. This first one is not the like official book of the month, it's the extra book, and it's called The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna, and it's super pretty. It's all shiny, and then the edges are sprayed teal. It's a paperback, which is cool because I haven't seen a sprayed edged paperback before, and look at it, it's cool. I don't know exactly what the deal is with this. I think it's released outside of the US, but not in the US yet. Let's see. It says, "We are so excited that we could include 2 books in this box. The gorgeous exclusive edition of The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna tells such a beautiful story, and we cannot wait for you to read it. It also features a foiled filled cover and sprayed edges. The book will become available to the general public in spring 2021, and we're so happy that we were able to bring it to you a lot earlier." So I think that this book is like on its way out. It's in certain places. Fairy Loot obviously got it, but it hasn't been like widely released quite yet. And there's not much of a description on the back. It just says, "Are we girls or are we demons? Are we going to die or are we going to survive? In this bold and immersive fantasy, a young heroine fights to save a world that would dare tame her and discovers she is her own fiercest weapon." So I'm very intrigued, and we'll be reading it sometime in the next few months. All right, a few more notes. At the very top of this box, there was this little card, and this card says that because of the like shipping and manufacturing delays due to the pandemic, this box doesn't actually have the June tarot cards in it. So every month Fairy Loot includes 2 tarot cards inspired by some book series or other, and they kind of rotate through different series. They're currently working on Throne of Glass, and the tarot cards for this month are not in this box. So they will include those tarot cards in the next box, and if you aren't receiving the next box, then they will mail them to you separately. So you'll get them, but you just have to wait a little while. So they are not going to be in this unboxing because I don't have them yet. Additionally, got this art print. So this is inspired by Blood Air. Blood Air by Amelie Zhao. And I think that this book is marketed as an Anastasia retelling. I don't know how true that is. It's not something I've read yet, but I am aware of it. And we have this nice print, presumably with the main characters on it. And then finally, we have the book of the month. So the book of the month is Forest of Souls by Lori M. Lee. You've got this really cool cover, and I believe yes, so the cover is exclusive with light green text. The original cover has a like yellowish orange text on it. You can kind of see it right there. You can also look it up. So the Fairy Loot edition of this cover is different, and then on the inside you have cover art on the inside of the dust jacket. And lastly, I believe that this is signed by the author. So I will read this description. It says, I have no family, no home, no talent other than fighting. If I'm not to be the shadow, then I am nothing. I am tired of being nothing. After years of training to become the Queen's next royal spy, Saoirse? The spelling of that will be on the screen. Saoirse Ashwin's plans are derailed when shamans attack and kill her best friend, Saengo. S-A-E-N-G-O. And then Saoirse somehow restores Saengo to life. Unveiled as the first soul guide and living memory, Saoirse is summoned to the domain of the Spider King. For centuries, he has used his influence over the Deadwood, an ancient forest possessed by souls, to enforce peace between the kingdoms. Now with the trees growing wild and untamed, only a soul guide can restrain them. As war looms, Saoirse must master her newly awakened abilities before the trees shatter the brittle peace, or worse, claim Saengo, the friend she would die for. So yeah, there it is. Sounds pretty interesting. I'm excited to read it. It comes with this art print of the main character, and then a letter from the author on the back, and then the bookmark that always has the theme art on it, and then the back just has the Fairy Loot logo. Oops. And then there's always the fairy scoop, and this fairy scoop is interesting because it's printed on like slightly nice copy paper, when usually it's like this shiny kind of brochure like material. So that's interesting. It's probably due to some kind of manufacturing issue. But on the inside, you've got the interview with the author and the little description that talks about the differences between the Fairy Loot edition and the standard edition of the book. And then on the back, you have the blurb for the next box. So the theme is Resilient Royals, and I really love the theme art of this one. I think it's super cool. Let's see. So it says, prepare your crown and don't forget to sharpen your sword. You might need it. This month is all about royals that always hold their guard and are willing to do whatever it takes to protect their kingdom and the ones that they love. You can expect items inspired by Crescent City, the Lunar Chronicles, Ash Princess, the Queen's Rising, Woven in Moonlight, and the Bear and the Nightingale. We are thrilled to announce that this box will include a hand-poured candle by In the Wick of Time, a beautiful cushion cover, plus many other goodies that we have never featured in a previous box. Oh, now I know what a cushion cover is. I think it's like the little pillow covers, right? I feel like I've read cushion cover as the blurb for other boxes and been really confused. For some reason in my head, that's like some weird kind of book cover, but I think it's the pillow covers we get. Interesting. Let's see. Our featured book of the month is an epic story of a kingdom ravaged by war and a princess that may be the key to saving it. Something about this book gave us classic fantasy vibes. You can expect magic, resilient royals, and romance. The Spraylu edition will have an exclusive cover, sprayed edges, and will be signed by the author. So that's what to expect in the next box. And I think there's still a waiting list for new subscriptions. And that is everything in this box. My favorite things are definitely this book, because I really love the edition, like the design of it, as well as the coaster set, because I love Avatar: The Last Airbender. So these two things are my favorite, but I'm excited to use a few of the other items as well. So if you made it to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.